right, folks, grab a seat and pour your drink neat as Whiskers and Whiskeys presents the postseason wrap up or postseason preview, season wrap up, championship week preview, all those things and more. I'm Mike with EJ. How's it going, pal?
I'm fucking fired up.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like a caged animal that has just been waiting to talk football.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we had an incredible rivalry weekend. We had the coaching carousel is now like we have a lot of
So
not
much to talk about
there's a
there.
lot of drama, but there's also just like a lot of positions filled now, so we can even
I,
just talk
I'm
about
really
that.
glad we waited to record today instead
Yeah.
of yesterday because a lot has changed in the past 24 hours. So
Yes. Then we have um the rankings as of so this is we're recording Tuesday night. We have the rankings are already out. We have not seen them yet, so
mhm.
you're going to get our pure reactions and yeah, and then we'll preview championship week because um in that vein, there are so many scenarios on what can happen. And if you think that I've already like it's gonna blur out,
It's gonna
but those
blur,
are
yeah.
multiple columns of my predictions based on results.
Really?
Oh yeah, I told you. I fucking fired up, dude. We're
Yeah.
ready to go.
There is a lot that I mean the I don't think I mean last year championship week was definitely not this consequential, I
No,
feel like.
no.
Not
Bec-
even close.
No, it was like a seating here, seating there, but for the most part, like everyone was in, and obviously like the seating was weird last year because they gave just conference champions the top four, which they've changed now, right? You get a bid if you're the five highest rated conference champions. But it doesn't necessarily but the ranking, or excuse me, the seeding is just based off of, the ranking.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so I feel like
And
there wasn't too much to say this last championship weekend. But
now it's like, are we gonna have Duke? Or are we gonna have the Dukes potentially being that highest rated championship team? We'll see. We'll see. We'll
I
see. Like
I think
that's
these rankings too, because I and we'll get to this part, but I actually put down like what I thought was gonna happen, and then based on because this is gonna be important, right? Because it'll be interesting to see how many people move up and down, and we'll talk about it.
I
This
have
thought
so many.
exercise
Yeah.
was really interesting to me because logically, some of these teams should move 6 spots, 7 spots. And if I don't know if that's unprecedented, we've only had the one. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many crazy scenarios. So
Yeah. I mean, and I did see the AP rankings yesterday, and I mean,
I didn't even see those.
well, I think I saw the AP rankings yesterday. I mean, I don't understand. I'm gonna have a lot to say if Bama's still at 10. Like I am gonna have so much to say. You can't have the team that's going to the SEC. Well, I mean, I think that's why they came out and they said they're not playing USF next year because like, well, we'll just play garbage teams. Like if you're gonna hold that Florida State loss against us, that and put us behind Notre Dame, who doesn't have a quality win on their schedule, then okay, fine. We're just not gonna do it. So
Yeah,
and they're
it,
holding the Oklahoma loss against them too. Like I still think that they should be ranked higher than Oklahoma, whose offense is dog shit. Though Alabama's offense in the Iron Bowl was also dog shit. Um, I'll just get out of the way.
well, and then there's just then there's the big question, and again, we'll get to
The
the
coaching
rankings
carousel,
probably,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
towards
yeah.
the end, but it's just like, what do you do with Ole Miss?
What do you
Because
do with Ole Miss?
there's a lot of rumblings and grumblings about, where they would seed them, rightfully so, without their head coach and half the offensive staff. There's
Yes.
been announcements that, since then to
Yeah.
that, again, without even seeing the rankings, play a hand in that. But
We're laying a lot of pipe.
yeah.
Let's start putting some stuff through it
All
here.
right. Why don't we start here with just rivalry weekend. Why don't we talk
Yes.
about the games first?
Way more tame than last year. Like hardly any fights. I didn't see any flag plantings or anything like that. So it makes me think that like Michigan did set off the chaos last year. I feel like the other teams saw Michigan plant the flag and was like, okay, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. And like it just set off a chain event of reactions.
Yeah.
There was no flag planting or massive fights this year, right?
No,
Like
but there was like chippiness,
there was a lot of
and it
chippiness.
wasn't just like end of game, your losing team, starts to say fuck this. It was like a throughout, like the couple of games that I listened to, and got to see. There was a lot of chippiness, but you're right, there wasn't. There was some premeditated blocking of logos at midfield, which is hilarious.
Yes.
When you think about it from
That's
multiple standpoints.
it's
Um,
soft, man. I mean, like I like even the post game presser to be like, we weren't gonna let them plant that flag on the field, brother. You had 60 minutes to stop them from playing the flag on the field. When that clock hit double triple zeros, and you lost, that's their field now. Ohio
which
State can
we're
do
which
whatever
we're
they want.
referring to Michigan, Ohio State. Well, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. It's one, you did it last year
Yeah.
and then told them to quit whining about it.
Yep.
And then two, someone on that team was like, "Hey guys, let's have this players only meeting on Friday," where someone literally had to say, if we lose this game, this is what we're going to do. They literally had to talk about losing the game and then making sure they protected it. Um,
Soft.
it's
Like they
hilarious.
that would be when they lost the game. Like,
Yeah.
like that's the point I would say at which they lost the game. When you have to have to your point, I didn't know that. I did
Yeah,
not
well, yeah.
know
They
this
had,
story.
well, you had to think about it, right? Like you don't just naturally have. You have a couple players that will do it like spur of the moment. You don't get 60 kids there without having that conversation
Yeah.
ahead of time,
Yeah.
which is such a pathetic conversation to have. And then again, considering what they did the year before, and then the way that they were like, quit being a crybaby, you guys should have done it in the 60 minute, like all the talking points, and then they were soft. There's even
Yeah.
more coming from there, which it's just exciting because they're frauds.
Yeah.
They're not good. Um and they have not developed their, superstar quarterback, and wouldn't be surprised if he left.
They have a
Although he probably
quarterback?
can't because,
They have a
yeah,
quarterback?
exactly. No, they have
Running back that
a
throws the
running
ball
back,
occasionally.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and hands the ball off.
Yeah.
But okay, so we had Ohio State, Michigan. I know that was one of my picks. I texted you. I thought Ohio State was gonna beat them and beat them badly because Michigan's offense is a mess, and I didn't think Ohio State could run the ball well, so they'd have to throw it, and that was my cap. And then when I saw the weather, I went, "Oh no, this plays exactly into Michigan's hand because Ohio State, until that point, had not really ran the ball well. And when you have, snow and it being cold, that can be very unpredictable for a passing game. And then on the flip side, Michigan can stop the run and they like to run the ball and will just grind it out to an ugly win. And to Ohio State's credit, they were able to pass the ball and then they just ran it down their throats
The
in the
first
second
quarter,
half.
man, it looked like everything that you predicted was
Yeah.
coming to pass. I mean, Sand throws the pick early. It's like, oh boy, but credit to him for, like just having the mental fortitude to like put that in his pass and not worry about. Well, you got that little grand crew.
Oh, oh, bud, I got a holiday pack from Trogs that had a
Nice.
chocolate elf, a naked elf, like a snowy dream, and something else. Four beers I'd never had in my life. And I think the elves, I assume, are like purposely variations of Mad Elf.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that; it just says holiday ale, like it,
Yeah.
But this is the chocolate elf, and it is lovely.
I'm gonna have to pick that up. That sounds very good. I have leftover wine for those open over the weekend. I have a Miller Lite aluminum pint, and then I have the last bottle of whiskey that I have upstairs because I don't know what kind of dumb shit you're gonna say this episode. So like I'm planning to not go there, but I don't want to run out for when we get to the conversation about LSU's new
Oh,
head coach
I mean,
eventually. So
we can talk about whiskey as well.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
Thanks for the reminder there.
Yep, yep.
But yeah, so that game kind of went how I had initially thought. For me, it was great. I mean, I don't like Ohio State, but it's always nice to see Michigan get put in their place and have complete meltdowns. The fan base has meltdowns, and yeah, that was great. Then you transition into it's interesting because I really like from the pick'em standpoint, I really did four home dogs. And in rivalry games, especially when spreads start to get to like 6.5, 7, like that's pretty big for rivalry games. And for the most part, all these games had pretty respectable underdogs. There wasn't
Mhm.
like completely, terrible teams that they were facing. So the next game, the 3:30 game, Oregon, Washington, again, like I just, thought it would be a much closer game.
Yeah,
That Washington would be able to, they play the run pretty well. Cold day up in Seattle, and the Ducks kind of they showed some mettle
they
and
did.
just went in there and pretty much. No, I didn't dominate, but like it didn't ever really feel like it was out of hand.
Yeah, yeah, definitely took care of business. And that was if the pick was available to me, that would have been one of my picks. I only had one on Saturday because I lost my biscuit. But yeah, I would have
Yeah,
definitely taken Washington. Um, yeah, I mean, I certainly thought that they were going to keep that closer than it was. But yeah, Oregon really, really played well on a Saturday where they really needed to, So with
yeah,
everything else that happened,
and I don't think Moore played, right?
yeah,
Decorian Moore. He still,
no, yeah,
yeah, I don't think he played, which makes it just even more impressive. And I honestly don't know what his status is. Like I feel like I would have known if it was a season ending thing. I don't think it is. I could be completely wrong, and I don't want to get on Google too much here
yeah,
until we get to the rankings. But that's just a big statement when you're missing your true freshman that has just immediately blossomed into a number one receiver,
hmm,
but you're having other guys pick up the slack. And so
yeah,
then it's like if you can add him to the mix of these other players playing really well, they
yeah.
could be that team that's potentially streaking at the right time.
Totally, totally. No, you're absolutely right. And I just realized something. We also should probably back up from the 3:30s at some point and talk about Friday night because we missed
Yes, you're
one
right.
very important
Right.
and another I think notable rivalry game for Friday night too. So
Yes. So why don't we start with not the big one, not our one of our favorite trophies, and it's a trophy game, guys. Sorry, I'm just in such a non-trophy like mode right now,
yeah.
because we're just talking shop. But yeah, what was the other game?
Well, I guess I mean Egg Bowl
Egg
went
Bowl.
as
Okay, yep.
expected, but like we'll pass over that one. That wasn't even that was the third. That would be number three. The big one that I was thinking about was obviously the Aggies just
Yes.
impossible for them to have a November that doesn't end in some type of cataclysm. And I think
Oh,
that
I see.
I was thinking about taking the horns as my biscuit, but I kind of like backed off it because they look so bad the past couple weeks. Like they have like Arches just look terrible. But my gosh, did they just pull away from the Aggies there at the end? I mean, the dagger run from March Manning and everything like that. But I mean that's bad. That was just bad, bad, bad.
Yeah, it was one of those like spot and sometimes you can get yourself into trouble being too recency bias of like the week before because the Aggies obviously barely squeaked away with a few wins at the end of the year. But it was just one of those things where it's like, okay, well, the Aggies, while undefeated in the SEC, avoided any SEC team with a pulse. So it just felt like the check was due. And then you're going to a rival, an intense rival that you haven't played in a while, right? Or was it last year the first meeting?
Yes, yeah,
Back
they definitely played
since they
last year.
left.
Yeah, hmm,
Yeah,
hmm.
so then it's like okay, so you're going on the road for the first time in a long time in this heated rivalry. And on the other side you have a team that's like hoping that they can make a case for themselves if they win that game, right? Beyond just winning one of the best trophies ever. Shout out Chancellor Spurs.
Hmm.
So So it felt like a trap. And then you ask yourself, okay, Texas has been not great. A&M's undefeated. Why is the number 2.5? And it did not move off of that 2.5. They would not give
Are we
Texas.
sure about the Tech Chancellor Spurs being Texas, Texas A&M? I thought it was Texas, Texas Tech. Is Texas, Texas Tech?
Is it? What's the A&M in Texas?
They don't have one.
How do they not have one?
Yeah,
What's okay? You're so the Spurs are Tech,
yeah,
and
yep. Because
what's
Tech
this?
has by far the best rivalry trophies. Yeah.
Yeah, what's the saddle?
The Saddles TCU, Texas Tech TCU.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
okay, I thought
When you
Tech
said
in
when you said favorite rivalry trophy, I thought you were talking about the late night game, the
yeah. No,
Arizona
I was
Arizona
not.
State.
I was not talking about the
That was
good old
another one that
territorial cup.
I wish I would have picked that one because I of my biscuits I was like between Texas, Arizona, and Mississippi State. And I went with Mississippi State because I'm an idiot. Because I just thought too much distraction for Lane and Ole Miss. And boy,
No,
was I wrong. So
and well, and then you changed it. You changed your biscuit last minute.
oh
Well, I
yeah,
mean, you were
that's
going to
right.
lose regardless.
Because I aborted it because they stole Trinidad Chambliss's jersey. So who did I take? Because I lost that one too.
Utes.
The Utes. That's right. And they didn't cover by half a
I mean, truthfully, it wasn't really like you were never going to get that cover because it was like 3 points late, and then they scored that
yeah.
touchdown late to get it to 10, like late,
Yeah,
late.
yeah.
So your
I
only
was even
chance
thinking, I'm
was
like, boy,
like,
do I want to go deal with Kansas
right, yeah, yeah. No, it wasn't a bad decision, right? You said you're a half point off.
yeah,
But yeah, I think you were doomed anyway. And
yeah.
then you had your thoughts about the Iron Bowl in your head too. So it was just not going to be in the cards for
Well,
you.
I knew I didn't want to deal with. I knew I didn't want to. Yeah,
And
I
you were
knew I was
almost
wrong.
right too. I mean, right all the way down to the
I
end.
was almost right. Big balls to bore on that 4th and 2, man. Like
Yeah.
I'll you know what I give that guy a lot of shit, and it's still warranted. I still think that my that team is playing so soft right now. Can't run the ball at all, like at all. Run the ball,
Yeah.
and uh except like they don't play Hill, which is insane. He's like the only one who's run the ball effectively. And then they kill Jam Miller. And then the defense is playing great though, but the offense is just so soft. But then yeah, that 4th and 2 call, like that was big balls, big balls
Yeah.
to make that call. And Ty Simpson has not been playing great through the month of November. Definitely delivered there. So yeah, credit to him.
Yes. And then Auburn moving down the field. Defense gets the stop they need, and you know,
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Could
you
not
hate
have
to see
happened
it.
to a nicer guy fumble that football.
Yeah. So then it was, if we're looking at some of these other games like Georgia Tech, Georgia never really like they were up pretty comfortably, but not a blowout. And
No.
they Tech had some little bit of magic at the end to try and get it tied, but yeah, it was just one of those things. And we kind of, I feel like two things happened. One, Tech wasn't surprising anyone this time, right? So
No.
there was that element of surprise last year, but also you could just kind of feel, Tech's been getting worn down, right?
Yeah.
They had some losses towards the end of the season, and it just didn't feel like they quite had the juice that they had at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then, conversely, Georgia's just been getting so much better as the year has gone on. Like
Mhm.
just looking better and better every week. Sneaky, sneaky. I would like to eventually check the odds to see what their odds are to win the whole thing because I think I might put a ticket in on them because they are playing some really good football right now. So
Then you had Oklahoma. I mean, this isn't necessarily rivalry game, but just a close game. LSU had a chance at the end, then acted like doofuses, and that was it. But
mhm.
yeah, it's kind of what you're saying when it comes to Oklahoma. I have so many theories to talk about before we actually see the rankings. But yeah, it's just an
They're
interesting question. The committee is has set a weird precedent with like the distance that they've put between some schools and so that they don't have to justify flipping them or whatnot.
It's just
Yeah,
so like their offense just is not, again, Bama's offense does not look good right now, but it looks better than Oklahoma's. I mean, they have a great defense. Their offense is terrible,
yeah.
but that freaking win against Alabama is like just propelled them up the
In
rankings.
Tuscaloosa too. That's the problem.
Yes, I fully understand, but this team also has two SEC losses as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? Like so, like what the fuck, like but whatever. I mean, I'm also at the point where I'm ready for Oklahoma to get in and just have their brains bashed in the
Yeah.
first round.
Well, I
So,
mean, yeah, Mateer hasn't looked like before the injury, which makes sense, right? Like he probably came back earlier than he really should have if you're thinking about healing, especially on a hand. But yeah, no, the offense has not looked good since he's been hurt. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on where they eventually get seated. If they are hosting a game and they sneak their way into like the 6th seed somehow, that
I don't see
they
any
could get a
path to
weak
that.
opponent potentially. But if they're sticking around the 8, 9, 10, yeah, they're likely to be going home that first round.
Let's hope so.
Let's see, what else did we have? We had Pitt and Miami in the Who Was Going to Blow It Bowl, and it was Pitt. Um, which
Surprising.
sets, which
A little
sets up
bit.
such an interesting ACC championship game, which we'll talk a little bit more later. But like, you have a 5-way tie to go to the game,
Oh, that
and
wasn't really what set up, right? What set up was SMU blowing it to the Calgorithm,
well, we
you
I
know?
that one I almost picked because 13 and a half, like I was just so hit or miss with Cal. Like I feel
Yeah.
like I have a pulse on them, but I'm usually flipped on
Yeah.
like whether it's going to be that game that's going to win or lose. And but it's a dangerous place, and Sangapala is just looking like a dude. He's looking like a 1-1 first overall. Annoying that he has to come back 2 more years.
Yeah.
Because he would probably get drafted this year and sit if that was allowed.
If it
I
was a
think someone would
possibility,
take it.
yeah. 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 No, yeah, they're gonna be interesting next year. I just, man,
But their coach they hired, which we'll get into next segment, I don't get it. I don't
no,
get it when you
no,
have him.
I don't get it either. Um, Whatever. Bunch of smart dudes at Cal. I'm sure that they got it figured out. So
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, they were. I feel like this pick was solely based on them losing to Stanford. Like it was just like, no, no, no. We gave up 24 points to Stanford and lost
can't
our
do it.
axe, which we didn't even get to talk about. Did you see the pictures of that exchange?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
was exactly what I wanted. I was really
So
hoping
nerdy.
someone would have shoved someone else and it would have
No,
like resulted in some
no.
fisticuffs.
Those
But
people, no, they do not want violence. They do not want physical violence.
it
No,
was
they want no
such an
part of it.
intense stare down by
Yeah.
like the 5 student government, people on Stanford receiving it. And then there, for people that didn't see it, then there were like 5 definitely like student government looking people on the other side holding this axe, but they're just mean mugging. And it's like a serious mean mug. It's not like a mean mug and you can see they're kind of smiling,
No,
like they
there's
know the
some
camera's on there. No, there was no words
I
exchanged.
think
It
there's
was,
also some nerves with that too, because
oh,
like
for
these
sure.
aren't people who are necessarily like used to being in this situation.
No.
And then you have a
The
big
football player.
offensive tackle come in and be like, "That's our axe,"
Right, yeah.
like like he got like in the face of the
Yeah.
Cal dude, like back up, like don't
Right.
you try and take this back,
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's like, well, and it was just kind of like I don't think that player understood that like they have to that he thought he could just take it from them, and it was like, no, it has to be like exchanged to the other student government's hands, and clearly they want to touch it for a second, and then
yeah,
but that dude was like basically like had his hand on it like during the exchange, and then
yeah.
like slowly ripped it out of the student government's hands to get over to the team.
Oh, yeah, that
That is
was.
pretty intimidating. You're right though, because that dude's
Oh
like
yeah,
6'7" standing
could
over you and
murder
angry
you.
and like
Yeah,
fired up and
he
yeah,
was like he was
yeah,
like back up, like yeah, he was ready to roll. He was I think he was praying that they weren't going to hand it over.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
He was
exactly.
looking
Yeah.
for an excuse.
Um, yeah, so that was not necessarily like a great game. Like Stanford had that pretty handedly, but it was a great moment. And we
Yes.
always talk about these trophies, and not only did you get to see the trophy on the field, get to see the exchange, but like the exchange itself was just great. It was all that we could have
Perfect
asked
moment.
for.
Yeah.
Um, Vandy, oh boy,
Oh boy.
belt to ass in that fourth quarter.
That was I hammered that over and boy there wasn't I was a little bit out there for a
Yeah,
second but then there was no
yeah,
doubt like just once Vandy got the ball back they weren't gonna stop scoring. Uh I mean the biggest story from that game though I think is the Pavia family just getting absolutely put in their place. That's the first time I ever, tip my hat to the good folks of Knox County because boy they went ahead and arrested Diego's brother.
yeah.
Um because I mean in this, this has been said for a long time. Like, can we just not have a camera on Diego Pavia's mom like every second? Just we're panning to her. Every time something happens on offense, we're panning to her. And they're at the point now where like they get the front row seats. They're like hanging over the sides, like sitting on the sides, like that railing there, right? And the police are like, you can't do this. Like it's a safety hazard, which kind of is, but it's also like a little soft, but still
And
whatever.
they know who they are, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
even if they don't know exactly,
Well, then
it's Vandy.
then Pavia's brother's like, "Do you know who we are?" And then and then he said something like, "The rules are the same in every SEC
Yeah, yeah,
stadium. Like we've been to them all." And then it's like, "All right, well." And I saw that clip, and I'm like, "Boy, if he keeps talking." And then soon enough, they slapped the shiny wrist bracelets on him, and he was out of there. So
yeah. And that resulted in nothing because it always does, especially for someone like that. So.
yeah, still,
Yeah, it was one of those things where I didn't get to watch the game, and I was mad about it because it was like I was flipping between that and Michigan State pulled me back in. I can't help myself when they start to like win. Um, but I kept seeing the score, and it was like, okay, it's close, it's close, and I was like, just quit with this, Michigan State, Maryland, turn on this game, because I feel like at that point too. Um, like Oregon was already pretty established, right? Because that was also a 3:30 game, right?
hmm hmm
Yeah, so I feel like it was like that's what I was doing. I was going mainly between Oregon and Washington because I had the Huskies, and then going between Michigan State and Maryland, and then I think it was like Oregon was pretty comfortable. And I was watching the score and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Like I'm going to catch, at least the half end of the fourth quarter, if not most of the fourth quarter." And it's been like, 21-17 and then 24-21 and 24-24. Well, it was just back and forth, back and forth. Then I turned it over and it was 45-24 and I was like, what the fuck
Yeah,
happened? Like,
it was a track meet, dude. It was like remember a couple years ago, Bedlam, like they went to like
yeah,
90 some points.
yeah.
I mean, that's like what it was like. It felt like we were watching prime Oklahoma State just go back and forth. It was awesome. It was awesome to see.
And I'll tell you what, man, Vandy is just pounding that door trying to be to get their way in. And I think there is a scenario based on this weekend where it could potentially happen.
I'm interested to hear
Uh
what you think that could be because I can't make that math work, but
yeah.
well, we'll see where the rankings come out
Well,
too.
yeah, and
So
that's what
yeah,
and it's dependent on where some of these teams sit in the rankings, but yeah, so that was a great game. I think it was the first ever 10-win season in Vandy history, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, could
I,
be.
I think it was the first 10-win season, and then couple that with like the first time that they've won double digits in Knoxville in like decades. So it's just kind of like that whole thing for Vandy. And you have your feelings on them, but as a fan of a team that has been just terrible, for decades and decades and decades and decades in the Lions. I can appreciate when a similarly suffering team has had some success. So I tend to root for that versus Tennessee.
Yeah, I just don't like Pavia. I mean, just
Well, I mean, he is like an adult playing with children, so that's fine.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, and I mean, God, yeah. Well, but he's the child. He's the one that's practicing kneel downs in pregame warm-ups. Like, come on,
hey
dude.
man, hey man, you gotta have. Sometimes you just have to have a little bit of swagger to do what he does because he knows he's not going pro. This is it for him, right? Like,
Yeah, that's
this
true.
is your shining moment to get NIL money, to get your name out there because, like, this is it. This is your last ride. So, yes, to a certain point, you don't want to be fake about it and be too much of a douche, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I just say fuck it.
I
You're
mean, he'll
like
go
already a
pro.
legend at your school. Like, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being the guy at your major university?
Yeah, I mean, especially being in Nashville and everything. I mean, yeah, I mean, for sure.
The
I mean,
guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
He will be going to Nashville to campus to get free drinks till he's 60, a
yeah.
1000%.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well,
And I
will they
say,
give
let
the?
him do it.
Because well, but if it was like if it was Oxford, Mississippi, yeah, he'd get free drinks all the time. But it's Nashville. Like
Yeah.
they'll forget him in like
I'm not
5
saying he's going
years.
down Broadway to like,
Yeah.
Tootsie's. Yeah, sure. There that's not where, but anything closer to campus or a campus bar.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe.
yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
All right, then what were the other games? Is there any other games that really kind of stood out to you? Those are primarily the ones I watched.
What were the ones because I don't wanna Google uh because that'll just be
Like Louisville and Kentucky, I didn't watch. Obviously, saw the final score.
no,
Clemson,
didn't
South
watch that.
Carolina didn't surprise me,
No.
but they aren't really rivals either. It's just kind of the scheduling at the end of the year type situation. I almost took
Yeah.
I almost took Missouri and Arkansas, so I was kind of watching that. I was going to take Missouri in that game because Bobby Petrino like literally said his team gave up like 2 weeks ago. So if that's the case, you don't got to tell me twice, right?
Yeah.
I should have just bet it. Yeah, I didn't really I didn't watch Florida State. That didn't really
It
interest
didn't
me.
move the needle for me. No,
Yeah, no.
I just checked my picks. There was nothing else that's
Okay.
really worth it. Yeah.
I wanted to stay up for Hawaii and Wyoming.
I did too.
I
I did
wanted
too.
to. I couldn't.
Yeah,
It was
I was pretty sleepy on Saturday after,
the adrenaline.
well, the adrenaline and then like just, from several days of drinking and eating and drinking and eating and drinking. I was like, I gotta go to bed. Like I didn't even want to be up for the Iron Bowl. I was just sitting there like, why the fuck is
I don't
this?
even want to be here.
I was just like, can this game just be over? Like, I mean, it should have been 24 nothing at one point. I'm like, can
Yeah,
we just, yeah,
you had too much fucking shit on, right? Like,
yeah, this shit's too heavy. Yeah, the nose kills.
um, all right. So why don't we then transition into coaching carousel? So I sent you. Do you want to lead with the conversation, or do you want to talk about others? Because we're gonna have a lot of conversation about
Yeah,
the
I
league.
guess we should talk about the big one, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
So I can say a part of what I texted you offline. So if you guys remember, Mike and I have a bet that I said Lane Kiffin would leave Ole Miss for anywhere. It didn't matter where, but I just said he would leave. Mike said he's not, and we bet a bottle of whiskey. So I've just been slowly, anytime there's been even like unsubstantiated rumors, although I think for the most part they all end up being true anyway. I would send to Mike knowing it's, you know, likely bullshit, but just to get him riled up about it. Because for some reason he loves this dude.
well,
And
and as soon as I saw the offer from LSU with the $25 million of the players, I said
yeah.
this last week. I'm like, that's hard to pass up. That's very difficult to pass up there. So
So I had been on this lane, this lane, like he's leaving, and I did like have a funny message for him once it was like official, in regards to winning the bet, but I think I threw you off with my flip. Because I was, it started off as me trolling 1,000%.
Then the flip to just be like, fuck this guy. Like that's where
After
I was like,
saying he should
what is
go.
going on here? Like just like the things you were saying, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, because I mean, this whole thing, and I'll admit certain things, if they turn out to be true, like if he was like, you let me coach in the playoffs, or else I'm taking the whole team and poach all your player, poach all the coaches, poach all the players. I think that's crazy, right? Like if that's all true that he did that, that's nuts, right? But like the problem with this situation is that like he was the domino that everyone was waiting for that domino to fall. And then it fell and obviously made things went into place after that. But like, you know, like the guy obviously was trying to figure out what he wanted to do. He wasn't sure about it. And everyone's now like, well, he's an asshole because he waited so long. He's trying to figure it. The whole media's up his ass about it. The whole world's up his ass about it. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. Guy's allowed to take his time. Guy is
No,
allowed to take his
absolutely
time
not.
and decide. Why is he
Absolutely
not
not.
allowed?
So that was what so what started off is not me being mad that he left. That was fine. Like that wasn't my point of my tirade in our text. It was the timing of it. And that was before some of this other reporting had come out. But it just like it started off as me just like trying to like throw you a loop out of left field just to get your reaction. But then the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I just like got really
You worked yourself
genuinely
into a shoot. You
pissed
worked
off.
yourself into a shoot.
And then it's like, okay, so now that it's so I was ready to go yesterday to talk about this, and now that there has been a lot more reporting, and like there is definitely two sides to it, more sides than in the moment. I still say fuck him. He definitely has played an annoying role in it. However, I'm on team. The AD is doing the school a disservice. From just the standpoint, in my point of view, from this standpoint of like, so you knew this was always a possibility, and it is frustrating if you have a guy that is either making you feel like he's staying or being really like just non-committal about it. I can understand where that gets super annoying and that would wear on you, and then when he finally says he's going, that you would just be pissed off about it. And but I just don't like, truthfully, I don't buy the whole I'm not letting you stay here because the more and more time you stay, like you'll be able to poach coaches and players. And it's like bullshit. One, every coach, as soon as especially as soon as his family was traveling, like we're not even privy to what he told his staff. Everyone was thinking to themselves, if he asked, am I going? Right. And
Yeah.
every one of those people talk to their significant others and families and say, if I get asked, are we going? Everyone did. Players, the same thing, right? Trinidad's gone. He's applying for this this extension, and he will 1,000% go to Baton Rouge. So it's like, in that case, it's like I get it, and yes, there's a bigger possibility that he could do more damage, a little bit more damage, but at the same time, it's like you legitimately have a national championship chance, and he's the best chance you got. So like, why it would be worth losing a draft class or a recruiting class over a national championship or over getting to the final four and or whatever it may be. It's just like it was just silly. I think like it was petty on the AD. I think Lane definitely knew he's fucking going. I don't believe in that had to ask God bullshit. Like he's known.
Nah.
I think he didn't want to be perceived as an asshole. And all of this was like, how do I
Well, I
play both sides? How do I stay to coach the team? Because that's what he wanted to do, but he knew what the AD was going to tell him. And I think it was that. Like he was just too soft about it. And it was like, I don't want to make anyone mad. And then he's like, oh no, people booed me. I can't go to the team meeting anymore.
I do
Oh.
think he had a hard time with it because like he turned
No.
his whole life around in these past 6 years at Oxford, right? Like he's changed a lot about himself and who he is and stuff. And
Or
the
so we
best,
thought.
and the best version of Lane Kiffin, has materialized at Oxford, right? And I mean, again, I don't fault the guy for wanting to take his time and make the decision. Now, if you're Ole Miss and you make a great point here, EJ. It's that like if you're Ole Miss, as soon as these rumors started, you could have been like, confront him and be like, hey, like, are you going to LSU? And then at that point, if he's like, well, I'm not really sure and everything, it's like, well, listen, we got to make contingency plans because
Yeah,
like we got to start interviewing people because you could, go after what's his face, the guy from USF who went to Auburn,
goalish.
Golish, yeah. You go after Golish. You go after all these people. You go after Summerall, right? Like you go get these guys to try to get them to be the new head coach, right? But instead, you let him dictate the terms and you end up on the back foot. So that's where I think like the AD could have, potentially driven things a little bit more there.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I can probably guess how this would go, right? Because the there's two sides to this, and it's easy for me to say because I have nothing to do with this. I don't have my job on the line. I don't have, millions and millions of dollars at stake here. But I I guarantee you the conversation with the AD at that point would have been like, are you fucking kidding me? Like what can we do? Right? Like
Yeah.
you're staying here. Like let's not do this.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of the best thing, this and that. Like that's the conversation is probably what it would have been.
Yeah.
But if I'm the AD, the conversation is, are you going? I get it. What can we do to keep you? Like, is it matching money? Is it what can we
Yeah.
do?
If
Right.
we match, that's the question. If all things are, if we match it, are you staying here?
Right. And it's just like, yeah, and that's the thing. And just be like truthful. Just be truthful with us because we're gonna have to think about the contingency. But let's be honest. Let's be upfront about this. Like, because like do we want you to leave? No. Like I can put my personal things aside because right, you can prepare for this. You can have those nicer conversations of, okay, will you at least stick through this? Like, can we talk to LSU? Will they at least let you coach through this so that we can win a national championship? And then like whatever, right? Because like I said, he's going to be able to poach people without staying for 3 more weeks. Doesn't
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. But if he had come from that standpoint instead of like clearly and given what had happened and how he how it ended up ending is why I know the conversation would have been like confrontational
Yeah.
and aggressive. So then Lane was probably just like, well, I'm not fucking gonna talk about
Yeah.
it. Which sucks because it definitely put them in a tough spot. It puts him in a tough spot. I don't believe his victim bullshit. Like come on, dude. You,
I
you
think,
know you're putting them in a tough spot, and you
yeah,
should
yeah,
not
yeah.
expect to like linger. Like
I
if
think,
they don't want you a
yes.
part of it, go. Don't sit here and be like, well, I tried.
Yes. Yeah. I think he made some mistakes there towards the end, but like, I do think that like, the AD could have done better too.
For
But
sure. And that's what like not my point of view was in the moment because there wasn't all this reporting on the AD and the other side of the conversation. Um, but at the same time, Mike, fuck Lane Kiffin because he did the one thing we're talking about in the midst of a playoff run. Fine. Not being able to coach, his fault because he probably should have had conversations earlier. Okay. Not fine. Okay. Leaving them with Pete fucking Golding. Mike, you can't even defend and a
yeah. Yeah.
horrific of him.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead, say something nice about Pete. Go
no, I,
ahead.
I have nothing nice to say about Pete. I feel bad. I feel bad for Ole Miss.
My
I feel
jaw
bad for the
dropped when
Rebels.
I saw. Oh my
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel
I
bad for them.
my
I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
what
Oh,
else
it
are you
just
gonna
it
do?
fit into what I was texting you. It fit in on what I was texting you about him being a shithead and you being like, "What are you talking about?" And then it was like Pete Golding, and it was like I didn't get any response from you, but I know it was like,
I,
"Fuck."
I I was laughing my ass off. I was like, this is who you choose. Like this is who you choose to.
Or
Have
Joe
you seen your
Judge.
defense? Have you seen your defense? Like,
Yeah,
I I couldn't believe it. I
but
mean,
he's a great recruiter.
the fact that they're like this is like they didn't even slap the interim tag on him.
No,
They just
yeah,
made him the head coach. But
out of
honestly, at
spite.
this point, you have to. At this point, you absolutely have to. And if I'm the AD at Ole Miss. next year I'm gonna start sniffing around. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what kind of contract they're giving Pete,
Yeah,
but I would have every single exit clause available in there so that you can like, or just don't pay him. Just be like, Pete, we'll give you 100K to do this job, prove it year, and
right.
then get his ass out of there once it's
Yeah.
over. Because like, he's awful. He's terrible. He should
This
not
isn't
be
your
coaching at the Division 1 level.
this isn't your fucking office. So you know
Oh,
they were like, dude, you can have the job, but you have to be a tough nut. Like we'll give you the permanent job, but you need to be a dick.
there's I don't believe for a second that Pete Golding said that to Lane Kiffin. And if he did say it to Lane Kiffin, it was probably like the biggest like joke thing, you know. Like there's no way he was like, this isn't your off. Why don't you go watch this game from home? This isn't your office anymore. There's zero chance he said that to him. None.
Well, I could just say that listening to his speech to the team when they announced it was inspiring. All 15 seconds of it, it hit me here, and I really think those players are not thinking about their futures
Oh
and
yeah,
potentially
yeah.
because you wait because what we're not talking about is that uncomfortable conversation of how spiteful does Lane want to be, because if
Oh
he says, "Hey, Trinidad, I know you're making X. Why don't I make it double that if you sit out this game and transfer?"
yeah. Well, I mean, also just I mean that clip that the video that they had, that someone had on their phone, like it took the team a minute to like really get psyched for Pete Golding. Like
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
just like they're just like woo, and then one guy was like yeah, and then everyone
right,
else like all right, let's
right,
go, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. No, it was delayed. It
when
was
when Marty Smith talks about like yeah, it was not the Marcus Freeman. It was not the Marcus Freeman moment at Notre Dame where
yeah,
everyone just
no,
erupted immediately. It was
right,
like, "Woo, is this a
no,
joke?" And then like, "Yeah," and then people start freaking out. And then I think when Marty Smith said that they're outside and they're like, so like players come out of the meeting and one player goes, "It's the Pete Golding era." Like, do you think it was like because Marty says it like it's the Pete Golding era, but were they like it's the Pete Golding era? Fuck. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that that kid's probably like on the bench and was like,
oh
"Oh, I
yeah,
hope coach hears, right? You know,
yeah,
like fuck
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
this is a
yeah.
new era. That other coach wouldn't play me, but you
This,
know,
this
it's
is this is Timmy Meadows, and I play defensive
right,
end. It's the
right,
Pete
right.
Golding era.
Hell yeah, son."
I'm a
Um,
redshirt junior. I've got 2 minutes playing time all year. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is just like that. Then he has a chance. Okay, you have a I don't even lukewarm reception to you being announced as the permanent head coach, and like you have the AD like we're not even gonna do interim, we're just permanent, right? America. So he comes down there, and then he has the chance to actually like address it, to like tell those kids why, and it's just like we're gonna be okay, see you guys on Monday. And it was just, it sucked. I was
Yeah,
expecting, you
dude, be
don't have
like,
to be a
let's go to the
good,
bar.
right. I don't know. I just expected him to just really be like, even if it is, we
Say
don't need
something.
him. We're all we've ever needed. We're this many games away from our goal. Like, you know what I mean? Just like really reinforce
Yeah.
that. And he was just kind of like, I don't know, guys.
It
Like,
doesn't he doesn't
me.
even have to say a lot, but to your point, just get there and just be like, all right, guys, goal doesn't change. Let's
No,
finish this
right.
thing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
just something like short and sweet, like, finish it off, right? Like,
He was just kind of like, hey, you guys know me.
hi,
We're
I'm
gonna be
Pete.
right.
Pete from accounting. You guys know me? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That was something. So that just also that knowing that it's Pete Golding, like they're fucked. They're fucked.
Oh, they're
And
so fucked, man.
and that begs a real question of whether or not they were going to be potentially even in the playoff, or how low they were going to be so that they could still bump someone ahead of them, right?
If I'm on that committee, if I'm on the playoff committee, Ole Miss is out of the playoff for me. And like it's strictly because of Pete Golding being the coach. They could have no one. The athletic director who gave a great speech.
Yeah.
His speech was great. He's like, I played basketball here at Ole Miss. I've been here for years. I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know all you guys as well as I like to, but I like that to change. Come around, come see me. Like I'm here. Like my family's here. I've always be here. Like have him coach the fucking team. Like he
Yeah.
could call up some better play. I actually guarantee you he could call a better defense than Pico. Actually, the best thing that they have going for him, and I saw this before the rankings came out. So like I saw this like an hour, a couple hours ago. Um, Lane said that they're allowing Charlie Weiss to be offensive coordinator.
Yep.
I don't know if Ole Miss has said like yes, we would like that or
Yes,
whatever,
they
or
did.
they
So
did.
it
Okay,
is happening.
then like I think that they actually have a chance because
Yes.
like the defense is always going to be an issue. If you have to have a guy that's that fucking clueless calling offensive plays too, you're in big shit. So,
No, yeah,
yeah,
you could just picture the Alabama AD part on the committee. I don't know if he is or not, but if he was, he'd just be like, dude, it's Pete fucking Golding. We can't trust us. Trust me.
no, yeah, no,
Can't do it.
no,
But
no,
no, but the point is that without Lane and him taking, Charlie Weiss and the other co-offensive coordinator and then the wide receiver coach, like
the
him taking
GM, yeah,
those, there was real conversation by pundits. It's just like, are they going to really punish them? They already kind of hinted like, could they punish them? And
yeah,
then he takes staff with him already, and it was like, oh no, like they're going to punish them. So I think that them LSU agreeing to send Weiss back was 1,000% because they were truthfully nervous that they were going to get left out because of it.
yeah, and I
And I
don't
think it might
think,
have worked.
yeah, I don't think you can punish Ole Miss too badly at this point. Like, I think you could maybe drop their ranking a little bit, but you can't put them. What were they? Six?
Yeah.
I don't think you can go lower than seven
See,
because
I don't. I could easily see because and we'll talk about it because there's your thought about that is going to probably conflict with a potential scenario that could happen this Sunday and how far a team could rise or fall based on.
oh
Um,
yeah, well yeah. I mean I also think that depending upon what happens this weekend, like there's a lot of things that could shift, right? Like I
yeah,
think I don't think there's any world in which Texas Tech goes below six if they lose to BYU, for example. So that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing I think is important. So
yeah. So
um
I could see the committee potentially. And I don't know if Weiss helped or hurt this, if Weiss kept them even on it, or if it helped there. But I could have seen them flirting with the 8-9 and not hosting. So it would just
yeah.
be like in it, but they're not a host
But the
anymore, like
the problem is
dropping
who do you
around
move
there.
above them? Like I don't want to move Oklahoma above. Well, okay,
You
if you
would,
move
because you would make the argument that this is solely based off Lane and like you don't move them at all. You advance them if you're not taking Lane into account.
I mean, I
But
still
if
have
you
my whole
are,
issue with Oklahoma being above Alabama. So
right. I mean, but if you are, then you're dropping them probably below two teams, no,
yeah,
regardless of the record, because the argument is going to be it's not about the record, it's because the head coach, the the play caller, and his entire offensive side is gone. So,
yeah,
that would be the argument. You either don't move them or you take it into account. If you take it into account, you have to drop them a couple spots.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I could see them not putting them down to where they could be out, but I could see them just punishing it in the sense of okay, well you don't get to host or you're
yeah,
hosting the nine and
yeah,
it's going to be the harder team.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, so it's that coaching hire it's just a long time coming, so much drama. Like I was texting you about, like it's like the LeBron James decision, 2.0. It's just like you don't have to bullshit us,
Were
but
you were you were you trying to bust my balls with the Lanning and DeBoer thing,
well, yeah,
especially the
obviously,
DeBoer
like
thing?
Lanning. Well, I was obviously saying it was a regional school, hinting at like that they don't have the resources. That clearly he would just stay
Oh,
regardless, and then understanding again, like when he took the job, obviously the timing wasn't the
but
same.
but the DeBoer thing is what really drove me crazy. Like, do you understand why? Like
Well,
you
yeah,
said, like
because the job wasn't open right until after the
yes,
season. Yeah,
yes.
I know,
I was
I
like,
know.
I put my
That's the
phone down
point. That's the
because I could not text you anymore. You're like, at least DeBoer finished the season. I'm like, he retired
I
two
know.
days.
Yeah.
I'm literally in my kitchen. I go,
What?
He retired 2 days after the season ended. Like, of
And
course he coached the whole season.
yeah,
You had me, you had me furious over
well,
here.
and you know what? I'm glad you say that because how much like more mad would you be if he were to leave like nowish?
If DeBoer were to leave,
Because that's how we transition into probably
hold
the
on, you're
second biggest story is Penn fucking State and what the hell is going on? Because here, and we'll get to the full circle on DeBoer because there was quite a few smoke on a potential there, which is nonsensical, and it just shows you how desperate and how crazy this like coaching situation has gotten. So reminder, they fired James Franklin mid-season. Shocker. Well, shocker in the sense that like he's been there for so long, been successful, and this was really the first time it was like a bad season, right?
but
Like it
yeah,
was
but I don't
bad.
think I don't think neither you nor I nor anyone was like, oh, why would you do that? It was like,
No, it
yeah,
wasn't
it makes sense.
why.
Yeah.
It was that they did it, that they spent the money to do it, and they did it mid-season.
It was
So,
more so like, holy shit, I can't believe they did it. Like we've
right.
just been talking
Yeah.
about this like a bunch of schmucks, and they
Right.
actually
Yes.
went and did it. Yeah.
Yes. Um, so that just led to okay, if you're Penn State, now you've had mid-season. So the idea of doing it early was so that you can get started on finding the replacement, right? And
Yes.
so that was enough time to engage Lane and everyone else that you have. Fitzgerald was had interviews with them, all sorts of coaches, and apparently there was one of the dudes, Liam Bletman,
Yeah.
from Barstool. He was
Yeah.
saying
I love
that
Liam. Liam's
Elko.
dad was a writer on Boy Meets World, by the way. I
Oh,
don't know.
really?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
He had mentioned that Elko was close before A&M finalized his extension. So it was just one of those things where, okay, you expected Penn State to get someone big and you really expected them to potentially poach, a big name. You even have like the Urban Meyers that are just sitting out there and, no one really believes is out of the game. He just probably has a particular set of expectations, especially with NIL, and it has to be a situation he'd want to go back to. But yeah, so it's just like you had all this time, and then it was like, okay, Franklin gets hired at Virginia Tech, and that's a problem because that's very close. You're recruiting the same grounds, and it's still a pretty historic program. There's things to sell, and it was just like you expected. Bam, bam. They were flipping recruits. I think there were like up to 3 or 4 like 4-star kids that have flipped from Penn State to Virginia Tech,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it was like, oh no, like they have to do something to stop this, right? And it's like, so they're gonna get the next coach, right? And it was just like, then it was the trigger of extensions, and it was like, this is bad news for them when it's like Elko gets extended and Drinkwitz gets extended, and just basically any coach that was potentially gonna leave got a raise, all because of Penn State.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, what's gonna happen here? So then you're getting down to okay, well um they're gonna do or die with Sataki. Then it went all the
Sataki.
way over. So you have Fitzgerald goes to Michigan State. Obviously, Lane goes to LSU. You've already filled Florida with Golish.
Hey, let's
Not
real quick.
or not
Congratulations.
sorry, Summerall, Florida, Golish
Some
to
are all
Auburn.
Florida goalish to Auburn, but hey,
Yes.
congratulations to you for getting Pats. That's a hell of a hire. I mean, I
Yes.
think if we do, I think we should do potentially a segment at some point here about like ranking the hires, but
Yeah.
or draft of the hires or something. But like, I think that's fantastic. Besides Franklin at Virginia Tech, I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful. So
No, it was great. It was crazy how quick it all happened because clearly a lot of people thought this AD had, the goal and the stones to do big things, whether it was like generating revenue, or like he was really well regarded down at Georgia Tech, and it was really surprising that we were able to get him from there, especially considering that was his alma mater. But
yeah,
everyone kind of was hinting like he's been really quiet, and typically he isn't. So it was like he's keeping something close to his vest, and then immediately firing Jonathan Smith, and then almost even faster having Pat
Yeah, that's the
Fitzgerald
thing. Yeah,
right
hiring him.
there.
Well,
Like,
you were at the Steelers game.
yeah.
Talk me through that? Like, what
Oh
was
no,
it
I
like?
had no
Because I
idea.
thought you knew. Like,
No,
whenever I text you, I thought like this.
you
You were
broke
like,
the
hell
news.
yeah, I knew this. I didn't realize I broke. I was
You
hoping I broke the news, but that's
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you
what did
broke
you
the
do?
news, and I immediately went to Twitter and was like, "Oh, there's no way," because it's just like he was rumored to it, but you just wouldn't have expected it to already be clearly done, right? It was probably
Yeah,
done well before the season ended and Smith was even fired.
you were the
Um,
only person at Heinz Field cheering,
yeah,
other than Bills fans
yeah, yeah.
on Saturday
Which
or
there was a
Sunday.
lot of them,
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately, Steelers fans.
That's
Actually, I'm pretty sure I saw Boz, listener
oh
Boz.
yeah, he was there. He was there. Yeah.
He was in the lot I was. I saw his pictures and I was like I was literally across from him and didn't even know it.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I was in the
Yeah.
same exact lot. I
Yeah.
recognized the building the garage
Hopefully,
was.
visitors keep filling up that stadium, and eventually, it'll be enough for Rooney to fire Tomlin. But that's for a different podcast. So,
Okay. Yeah, so and then it's gotten worse for them and like we should say, so you have these other the big power or group of six or five, whatever it is now, uh coaches, the big names have already found their spots. One going to Florida, um the other one going to Auburn, and it was like not that they were great fits anyway because they're from the South, but it was just like even if those were options, you even had JMU's guy go way the fuck out to UCLA. Don't love that for him, but
no.
Godspeed.
Yeah.
Especially after Lincoln Riley has the number one recruiting class in 2026.
Yeah.
And a lot of those kids are the LA kids, which
Yeah.
is what USC should always do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like, where's it gonna go? Lincoln Riley saying he's staying, all these big names, and then there was wild reports that Penn State was trying to get
Kalani Sitake.
yeah, Kalani Shiitake or Sataki from BYU. And it was just like, okay, I my immediate thought was I get it from like a name standpoint,
I thought it was
but
a great
like
fit. Like he's like a stern guy, like he seemed bald. Like that seems like a great fit. Like
no, he has never been east of Provo.
yeah,
So like
that's while that is true, and while he is a Mormon, there's not a ton of those in Happy Valley.
no.
He is like a hard nose. His quarterback wears number 47. That's Penn State football right there, you
Yeah,
know?
let me tell you a story about a program from the same
Okay.
area that
Okay.
had a very successful coach that had no idea anything to do with the school he went to 2,000 miles away and how that ended. So while I do think I like the guy, I there's no chance that his alma mater that he should leave his alma mater.
Yeah, yeah.
Um but like it was one of those things where like was he really going to do it or was he just leveraging the opportunity? And it was awesome from the standpoint of like you had the literal Mormon church involved, you had Crumble Cookies CEO
That
saying, "Oh,
was
hang on."
the NutriCore nutrition brand. Like they
Yeah.
chipped in. Like I mean, it was well. They used it was a full court press because it was like first off, I guess Sataki's like super like a very devout Christian and like
Yes.
so the Mormon Church is like come on, like the higher power here wants you
Right,
to stay
yeah.
here, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
then after that it was like I guess they are Christian, right? Latter-day Saints, they believe in Jesus, the
Yeah.
Mormons do, right? So they there was that, and then NutriCore guy, and then the crumble cookie guy who like no, like his tweets were insane. He's like, I guess it's time I get off the sideline, get in the action. And then he's like, BYU Nation,
Yeah.
say why you love Sataki. And like that's that I was like, that's a really good idea. You're gonna get the whole the whole Mormon Twitterverse
Yeah.
to and it's such a different thing than like Ole Miss. Like, could you imagine if Juice Kiffin was like, woof woof, say the reasons at Oxford, say why you love Wayne, Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so.
You'd
Uh,
have a lot of like sororities, explaining why
oh
they
yeah,
love
yeah.
love playing, but probably not as much like community outreach. It's actually really cool, and that guy, while obviously he was already paid millions, got a nice raise out of this. That had to have felt awesome when you just had a community that was like, "Hey, hang on, hang on, pal. You're ours." We're like, no
Yeah,
chance.
and the way they went about it too, like there was
Right.
not, and maybe it's a Mormon thing, right? But like the way that they're just like, let's just surround this guy with positivity,
Right.
as
Yeah.
opposed to be like, go fuck yourself.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, to your point, Penn State's in a real bind right now. They are
So
in,
so then it was official. They were way
yeah,
out of their element, even trying to get him to go. But then they were hand up, stopped, and he said, then there were reports earlier today, like the evening, that he was not going to leave. And it's like, where do they go now?
well, dude,
Because someone had mentioned like Matt Campbell, who's always kind of on the list from Iowa State.
it's an
Um,
interesting name.
is someone that's always kind of been like told,
Yeah.
like, always in the news on going to the NFL, moving from there. And apparently he was reached out to, but it was just too late. And it's like for Matt Campbell, it's like, okay, well, I don't want to be the seventh choice for you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Well,
risk my collegiate, record to do that.
yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, I guess I mean Lafayette and Lehigh have pretty good teams, and they're based in Pennsylvania. At least I think they do. Last I checked. That's the oldest rivalry, right, in college football, Lafayette and Lehigh.
yeah.
Um, gosh, I mean,
It's probably Jeff Brom. It's probably Brom out of
Brom,
Louisville. Even though
but
that's his alma mater. He went from Purdue to Louisville, and he has ties to the area.
we need to
He's
get
had
Jimmy Conklin on the phone right now.
Oh,
Like,
I already texted him about it, and he's like,
what
I
he
mean,
say?
I get it, but he's like, we would hate him. Like he's like, because he's
Oh
the
yeah,
he's the kid that came home,
yeah.
and then he's immediately gonna leave like year one or
But
two,
there's
even
no
though it's
way he would
clearly a
leave.
better opportunity. I mean, that's if they just say, hey, we're gonna like double your salary, and you're gonna get 20 more million. Yes, you're going to the Big Ten, but like you're clearly not doing well enough in the ACC already. You're year two, and it weren't really close to even getting in the shitty, conference
Yeah.
championship. So it's like, I don't know. I think you could convince him to take. He was already in the Big Ten, failed there. Obviously, kind of went down to come back to his alma mater. I don't know. He's obviously good. I think that would be a pretty decent pick for Penn State, but I feel like you could be convinced to leave
I
Louisville,
don't.
even if it's
I
your alma
just don't know
mater.
where they're gonna go. Like who's available?
That's probably it. Like honestly, I think you're kind of there. That's it.
Yeah.
Because like again, you do want you can't even get the JMU guy. He's already gone. Like you kind of want someone at least somewhat regional, unless it's a home run huge name. So so yeah, you start to run out of like I guess Brian Hartline has been rumored to be potentially interviewing. I don't know that
That's an
like he would
interesting
go to Penn
name.
State. Like that is that
Why
weird
not?
because people are weird, right? Do you think Hartline would ever go to Michigan? Absolutely not.
Well, but
Um
that's different though. I feel like Penn State's, I mean, very different.
but that's probably the where you have to go. Will Stein is at Kentucky. He's from Kentucky. I think he honestly he's from or went to Louisville. He was probably kind of hoping that the Brom was kind of gone, and then he'd probably killing him to go to Kentucky. But he's
I
going
mean,
back to Kentucky.
hey, to your point earlier, if Kalen DeBoer is willing, go ahead and
So there it is. Thank you
bring
for
us back.
yes, bringing us back for let me land this plane here. So then there was a lot of discussion, and I think this was more fan fiction than it was
That's the best.
any
That's the best
real
descriptor for it. Yeah, it
yeah
was my fan fiction.
right. But it
I have
was just like
journals.
first off, it was people saying like, well, he clearly doesn't like to be there. There's a lot of pressure, and it's like, okay, this is clear fan fiction. But then it was like talking about if he if he lost the Iron Bowl, would it have been like, okay, you lost the Iron Bowl, you're out of the playoff, maybe you are better suited. Although people kept saying he's from the Midwest, he's from like South Dakota, so it's not really, but it technically is a little bit more
South
his
Dakota and
style, not the
Pennsylvania have more
South.
in common than,
Right.
yeah,
But it
Alabama
was
and
like,
South Dakota. Yeah.
would he just kind of leave, and could he be drawn out for Penn State? Obviously, Penn State would at this point spend way more than they wanted to just to not be embarrassed. But it was way more fan fiction, but it was interesting because I was like, DeBoer, like, guys, we're to the point now where you're talking about taking Kalen DeBoer from Alabama in a successful season. That was it.
Well, if
That's
he
how
didn't
we
win the
knew it
Iron
was in a
Bowl,
bad
brother,
spot.
I mean,
Right.
get him the fuck. I text you. I said, Lane is waiting.
Right,
The
right.
reason why he's not announcing until tomorrow is he
Yes,
wants to see the
it's
outcome of
waiting.
the Iron Bowl, and then
Uh,
if Alabama loses, they're gonna fire DeBoer, and then they're gonna bring Lane
yeah.
home.
Oh,
Which,
and you know what? One more thing on the coaching carousel before we get to the rankings is like another reason why to be pissed at Lane. How was it leaked that Nick Saban told him to go? Because now all of a sudden people are saying it's a conflict of interest for an ESPN employee to tell Lane to leave his job to go to another one. That has literally been something that's been reported. Is them is them attacking Coach Saban. And the only way that came out, because Saban couldn't leak it if he wanted to, was because Lane told someone. Scapegoated Coach
no,
Saban.
no, Coach Saban can
Oh,
do
I
it. Coach
still
Saban can
can't
tell
believe
whatever
you.
coach he wants to do.
I still can't believe you. And guess what? He's on now the rival. LSU. You're going to root for him at LSU?
I will always wish Lane Kiffin well. He brought me a lot of he that 2016 national championship was one of the best games of my entire
And
life.
then he got fired before the other one.
You know what? Next time you come over, we're gonna toss on the 2016 national championship. We're gonna watch it from soup to nuts. It's a great game. It's fantastic. We're gonna watch it.
I can't believe you. It's LSU. It's not Ole Miss. It's not Ole Miss. Not
No, it's not
practice.
a miss, but
It's
yeah, I mean,
LSU. Where's
well,
your ranking? Tennessee. You're probably going to be spiteful and say LSU and then
tenant.
Auburn.
No, no, it's on my personal hate scale.
Yeah.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
Oklahoma, like right there. Tennessee, Oklahoma. Uh Clemson, obviously. Uh then LSU, then Auburn, then LSU. Florida State's really jump up in the mix. Then that's like Florida State, Vanderbilt, like they're like right there. So yeah. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Unbelievable.
That's how things stand. But it's definitely Tennessee and Oklahoma. It will be very hard for me to hate two teams more than those two in my entire life, no matter
Okay.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sidney Sweeney could coach at Oklahoma. I'd still hate him. So,
And any other coaching jobs that kind of stuck out to you?
I mean, Golish, I think is a great, unfortunately, a great hire. I think he's a really good coach. I think that he's exactly what Auburn needs. I think that's a big problem. That's a big problem that I will choose to ignore for another like 360-ish days, um, as best I can. I thought Summerall to Florida was a good move.
It's
Props to
tough.
get,
It's
yeah,
like I saw that as it's just tough, and I'm not an expert. I know Summerall's done a great job. What he was at like Troy before Tulane, seems to just be a winner. But it's like, there's that nervousness from the fan base when it comes to taking another top power, or group of
yeah,
five guy.
yeah.
And I mean, again, like I know Tulane's been consistently in the mix, which says something. It's also, I feel like usually on top of group of five. Like it's always kind of flirting with that. It's not hard to pull kids to New Orleans. But yeah, I don't know. I could see that being a bit uneasy, even goalish. Like it's got to feel
No,
uneasy.
Golish is gonna be. I already have convinced he's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be the next. Oh, there's an interesting name. What if Gus Malzahn? What? I mean, he could go somewhere.
Yeah, I just feel like that issue at US or UCF recently might have just kind of left a bad taste in people's mouth. Jed Fish has been talked about.
Jed Fish is another name that I was going to say, but I think does
But
he
that's
has
just
ties to
so.
Washington?
Yeah, and in Arizona before then, he's just gotten there. He's really hasn't been a head coach for that long. Went to the
I mean,
NFL.
Kenny Dillingham could get
Yeah.
the hell up out of Arizona State because last I checked, Sam Levitt's transferring.
Well, he
Uh,
was yeah trying to figure out how much more money he could make.
yeah, so I mean, if I were Kenny, I'd get the hell up out of Dodge, because it's not going to get better. If I were Penn State, I'd probably reach out to him, because to the point, like not a whole lot of places left that you can reach out to. So
Yeah, that is tricky though because he let's see here. He's from the area. So sometimes you get people can get weird with that. I agree with you. It shouldn't be a thing, but it's his alma mater. He's from
yeah,
Phoenix. His alma mater. Grew up there. Was an assistant there before he got his grad was a grad assistant at Memphis. So you're right. I agree with you. I would probably get out too if you got a big offer, but at the same time, someone like that, I don't know. I could just see him being like,
here's what
I'm making a good enough money here. I'm where my family is. We're not in a bad situation. Phoenix is a nice area.
if I
Glendale
was
or
if I
Scottsdale
was
women are
i-
beautiful.
if
Yeah.
I was king for a day, I'd fire Mike Tomlin. That would be my number one thing, and then Penn State can hire him. I wouldn't make that one of my edicts if I was king, because Penn State can do whatever the hell they want. But I'd fire Mike Tomlin for sure, and then let him. That seems like a good natural transition for him.
See,
So
I'm just I side note, I've had this conversation with a few people. I don't know. You might be okay. I don't know that people in Pittsburgh are really prepared to do what it takes to actually move this franchise
I
forward.
I am
I don't think
prepared.
they do
I am prepared.
because the problem you are, but like the problem is because you guys have been so attuned to like counting out the Pirates and it is what it is. The reason you're able to just put that aside, your frustration with the Pirates over the years, is because you've always had, especially in this decade or this era, you've had Crosby, you've had that era. One foot's out the door, right? Unfortunately, that era is one foot out the door. And then you've
Yeah,
always had the Steelers in order for the Steelers to finally move forward, they have to probably win 2 to 3 games in a
good
season.
with it. I
That
honestly,
I know, but like people
I
say that until it's been like 25 years, 30 years since that's even been
I
happened.
just I can't stand the mediocrity anymore, because
No, for sure. That's what has to
there's
happen.
no way that we're ever gonna win another title with Mike Tomlin. Um, just not a chance. And I want a change. I don't care if that change is 25 years. Because I'll tell you what, uh, even if it is 20, even if the Steelers are a 2 or 3 win team for fucking 20 years, I make that deal, because I know that those guys are going to win another cup, at least one other cup in my lifetime. Probably in the next 10 years, they're going to win a Stanley Cup.
Okay.
So, that's the nice thing about the Pittsburgh Penguins, is that something about that franchise is like just blessed. There's actually a great, this is getting way too far afield, but I have poured whiskey. But there is a great documentary that talks about the whole history of the Penguins organization and the amount of times, like, everything has almost gone to shit except for like a miracle happens. There's been like 5 times in the history of the franchise that, like, everything, when I say almost gone to shit, like not existed anymore. Like the whole Kansas City relocation, everything.
Yeah.
And then just a miracle happens and it turns out. So we'll see, because now they're owned by private equity Fenway Sports Group, but who knows? So, but
All right. We are done with the coaching carousel. We have pulled ourselves into the future of Pittsburgh fans. I don't even know.
oh,
Just
the
their mental
rankings.
health.
Let's get to the rankings.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So I have obviously a lot of this written down, so I'm gonna probably be quicker. Do you want me so before we look at what they are, let's talk about what we think they are. And then we can talk about based on what they currently are, what some potential scenarios that we think could happen based on championship week.
Okay, so I think you have Ohio State, Indiana still 1-2, right?
Okay.
That's easy. I think Georgia's in the 3 spot. I think Texas Tech's in the 4 spot. Oregon's in the 5 spot. And then this is where it gets interesting. I think you could do A&M at 6 and is there anything I'm saying that you disagree with vehemently so far?
Nope.
Okay. A&M at 6. I was hoping you'd say yes, so I had more time to think about this. Um, what is
You have the exact same 6 as I do.
okay? Now I'm thinking,
So here's the question is so how it currently was is you have Ole Miss, right?
mhm,
And at 7, and then you would have
Oklahoma, Notre
Oklahoma,
Dame,
Notre
Alabama.
Dame, Alabama, ACC group of 5, right?
So
That's how it is now, but we're thinking like with the committee, the question is how are they going to punish Ole Miss
if it were
if they
me,
punish them?
if it were me, keep in mind what shirt I'm wearing. I would do Alabama up to 7, Ole Miss to 8, Oklahoma to 9, Notre Dame to 10. That's
Okay.
what I would do.
But how would you justify a 4 spot
Rise
jump?
for Alabama because they are now playing in the SEC title game. This is where they fucked themselves. They should have never had them. They should have had them at 9 above Notre Dame because Notre Dame does not have a signature win on their schedule. So they should have had them at 9, which I think is a mistake. They're playing in the SEC championship game, and really they're moving up partially because Ole Miss is moving down, and Oklahoma's not moving down because of anything they did. They have to move down to make room for Ole Miss, who I'm dropping 2 spots because they lost their head coach. I could make an argument for, you know, as much as I don't want to, you could say what I think the committee would do is Oklahoma 7, Bama 8. They'll probably keep Notre Dame at 8, Bama at 9, Ole Miss at 10. That's what I
Well,
think. That's what I think they'll do. That's not my
yeah.
vote, but that's what I
Yeah.
think they'll do.
Yeah, I was thinking Oklahoma at 7, Ole Miss at 8, Notre Dame at 9, Bam at 10.
They're in the fucking SEC championship game.
I know,
Edmund.
but I don't disagree with you, but it's based on where they put them. That can't be the justification. Now, if they win it, that's where when we're talking about
Well, then they
future,
have to go up fucking six ranks, you know?
that's the catch is like, do they do that? Can they do that? If they do that, what's the implications moving forward? Because they've never moved anyone more than like, you know,
If you
two,
if
three
if the
spots.
SEC champion doesn't have a first round bye,
Yeah.
Greg Sankey is gonna choke a bitch. Greg Sankey is gonna freak the fuck out and choke. And I guarantee this. If Alabama wins the SEC championship and they don't have a first round bye, Greg Sankey is going to go to every athletic director is to say cancel every non-conference game that you have that's against a another Power Four school or even a good Group of Five school. Fucking cancel it.
Well, you
We're
can't.
playing
You have
Middle
to have one.
Tennessee. We're playing
You have to
Sanford.
have one.
Well, whatever. Like he'll just
Go
go
find the
sports
worst team in each
find the worst
conference.
fucking team, see what Maryland's doing, see what
Right.
Rutgers doing,
Right.
see what
Stanford,
the
what are you up
entire
to?
ACC's do. We'll have an SEC ACC fucking classic every
Right,
year,
right.
and like that's what he'll do. Like he'll lose his fucking shit. He will lose his mind as well as he should. He should do that because there
If
is
that
no
can if
there is
that
no
can
fucking reason that Notre Dame is above Alabama. There's not one.
but they
Not even
already
except they should have never happened. If I'm Greg Sankey, I'm standing on the table saying this fucking 2 weeks ago because you knew this would happen. You knew we'd get here. It's bullshit. They haven't played fucking anybody. They have two
yes.
losses, close
Correct.
losses to good teams. But the fact that now you have to be like our potential SEC champion is and also if Alabama gets left out of the playoffs, if they lose the SEC championship game and then they're out of the playoffs to put in fucking Miami or someone like that, then like if I'm the SEC, I'm saying we're out. We're do your national championship without us. We're fucking out of this thing. We're gone.
Uh, that was a potential scenario based depending on where they put Alabama today that I could see happening, and that's where I was thinking Vandy would flip because you still get your five
What
SEC
what
schools,
how
but
how
then you're gonna
how
have
how
Texas. I
you're breaking my brain. How
if you're at 10, if they put you at 10, so you're only above the two have to be theirs.
yeah.
Have to. If you're at 10 and you lose another game and
You
they're
lose the
replacing you with
SEC championship game though.
but if they're replacing you with another SEC
No,
school
no, no,
with
no,
a
no,
kid
no.
that could go
Then
to
why
New
play?
York,
Then why play the game? You cannot punish. You cannot punish a team for playing in the championship game and losing the championship
I
game.
don't
You
disagree, but if
can't do
you're
it.
sitting at 10, I think they could do it.
You could
Because they'll what they'll say is they'll say Florida State, and you're right. Then your AD will
the
go,
first
we're out.
goddamn game of the season, the first, not our AD, the SEC commissioner, Greg Sankey,
Yeah,
will be, we're out. You cannot, you can't, if Alabama, the only way, if Alabama loses the SEC championship game, the only way I will accept them being out of the playoff is if BYU beats Texas Tech. Because then obviously BYU has to get in, Texas Tech has to stay in. That's the only way I would, and I can understand that. I can appreciate that. Like I don't agree with it because I still think that Alabama should be over Notre Dame in that situation. I also think they should be over Oklahoma in that situation because Oklahoma has two losses to SEC schools and did not make it to the SEC championship game where Alabama did. Like
yeah, but they're
I could at least understand the stupidity of the committee in that decision. What I can't understand is if Texas Tech wins the Big 12 and Alabama loses, if they then drop out. You cannot punish a team for lose because if that happens, then why
they
play the SEC championship
well
game?
they
Just say I
wouldn't
fucking
be
forfeit.
they wouldn't be punishing you for the SEC game. They would be punishing you for losing to a 5-7 school. And then if you're ranking, okay, so you have another SEC school that has a very strong resume, and their two losses to your three are SEC opponents, and you lost to one of the worst ACC. I don't
Then why
agree
would
with
I?
it,
Why
but that's the
If I'm
argument.
Alabama, then why would I even play the SEC championship game? Why not just say I'm good, give it to Georgia? Because
Be, be,
by your
But you
logic,
would then, I think they would replace you with whatever the school that got
like
barely
why
left
even
out,
bother? Like
and then
why even fucking
that
bother?
win could catapult you down. That's what it would
No,
happen
no.
because then you'd still keep Georgia.
I'm glad I brought this because you're getting me fired up now. It's
But there's a
absurd.
real. I don't want to like scare you again. Depending on where they ranked you, there's a real chance they're going to drop you. There's a
It,
real chance.
if
It's not a done deal. It's definitely not a done deal.
again, if they lose, if they are at 10, if they lose, if Alabama loses and BYU beats Texas Tech, then okay. Like I disagree with the committee ranking Notre Dame and Oklahoma higher,
Yeah,
but whatever.
there's a lot of questions around that. But
Right.
where they have you,
But
that's
if
the
they
problem.
drop them out to put Vanderbilt in or Miami in, oh,
I don't think it would be
oh,
Miami. I think it would be Vanderbilt. I
oh,
guess it depends. It's whoever's going to be ranked
oh,
on that 12, right?
oh,
Whoever's 12.
no.
And if it's an SEC
Then I know
school,
that Diego Pavia's mom is sucking the dicks of everyone in that committee.
well,
I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Working nurse,
hey,
family
so,
woman,
Mrs. Simpson,
fucker.
here's your chance. Right? Goes both ways. I'm just telling you, man. It's not like they're trying to replace with the ACC. There is a legitimate, whether you like them or not, there is a legitimate reason to put Vanderbilt in.
Can we
And
pull
if
up
they're
these
the one on
rankings?
the,
Can we pull up these rankings so I don't have to lose my mind over this shit anymore?
all right, yes, I want to slow rank you here. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. You pull them up. I'm not gonna look at them. This is just
okay,
we're gonna. This is a pivotal. This is a what the this is a core memory of our friendship. This is a core memory of our friendship and just how I view not even our friendship, just like how I understand you as a person, thinking that there's a path. Well, actually, don't pull them up yet. How does Vanderbilt get in? Like what reason? Because they have two losses to R3 and one of our losses to the SEC championship game. That's what you say. We played one more game than them, and the one more game that we played is the championship game.
okay. Vanderbilt, you don't have to worry about, but there is someone that's gonna
God.
is
Okay.
gonna make an
Just
argument. It's not gonna be a valid one, but they're gonna make one, and they
lay it
have the
on me.
balls enough to do it.
Lay it on me.
All right. Do you want me to start high or low?
Let's go high because I think we know what that is. So,
One Ohio State,
yep.
two Indiana,
Yep.
three Georgia,
Yep.
four Texas Tech.
Nice. I'm glad that I was actually thinking that they might put Oregon in four. So, okay,
Nope.
cool.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the potential of them and likelihood of them winning their, obviously they going to their championship game and they have,
Easy on the likelihood of winning piece, but yeah.
I think they're okay. But okay, five Oregon, six Ole Miss.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
No punishment at all.
None.
None. Okay.
That's very interesting. Okay.
Okay. Seven A&M.
Okay.
So that's a four spot drop.
So
So if we're thinking
that's
about the likelihood of going up and down, you might be able to fluctuate maybe another potential point, but you're probably not getting more than that.
yeah. Okay.
So A&M at seven, Oklahoma at eight. And this is actually when I told you I saw one, it was Alabama. And they're at nine. So I think that helps. I really think that helps in a
Yes.
loss.
Yes. That yes.
Notre Dame at 10, BYU at 11. So you're right. I think it's
And that
um that probably bumps Notre Dame out and probably keeps you there, but you're probably then the 10, right? And they might
yeah.
move BYU up to the 9 if they
Yeah.
won theirs.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I
That's
mean,
that's
I think you could even jump them up a little bit higher if they win, because if they beat Texas Tech, that's gonna be a heck of a win.
yeah. I
Um,
guess over the teams that don't
yeah,
go or aren't going. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so BYU's at 11. Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Miami at 12
yeah.
and then Texas. So Texas would be that annoying brand that's already started to bitch and moan about why wouldn't it be us? But Miami being there is interesting because that probably. Well, I guess the question becomes though. So that's what this comes down to is okay. So where they have Tulane at 20, they have North Texas at 24 and JMU at 25. So JMU does get
Where's Duke
ranked.
ranked? Is Duke ranked?
No, they have five losses. If Duke wins, there's no chance they get in. There's none.
So JMU gets in over Duke.
It depends on if they would. So can they justify putting Miami in? Can you justify
No, you have to choose the
has
five
to be
conference
conference champion?
champions.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, if it regardless, North Texas or Tulane are in, regardless, right? Winner of that game is in. So the question becomes if JMU wins, it's setting up JMU. Yeah, they have to take JMU over Duke.
If Duke wins, yeah, if Duke
Yes,
wins. So that's the chaos, right? Is that if
right.
Duke wins, their Duke wins the ACC championship game, and JMU wins their
Sun Belt.
Sun Belt championship game,
Huh?
then JMU gets in, and the ACC's out.
Yeah, because Duke's at five losses. That's
This
what's
is like
that's
this
what's
is
so absurd about how they won a four-way tie with like a four-loss team and a three-loss team or a two-loss team in Miami. Like
I
how?
just love that when NCAA 24 came out, and there was all these like you know like before the patch, there was all these like playoffs that had like Nevada in, and like Nevada and like JMU were like both in the playoff, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, we have to like adjust the algorithm and stuff because this is ridiculous. It could never happen." And now we're in a situation where fucking Tulane and JMU can be in and the ACC can be out, right? So,
Yeah.
um, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's what they changed the language, right, for this year, and it's crazy that like there is a very good likelihood that that language that no one thought would ever be a thing ever could happen in the first year.
Yeah, instead of being the four Power Four champions and the top ranked group of five, it's just the top ranked
Conference
conference
champions.
champions.
Yep. So that
Um,
can include the Pac-12 in the future, next year, the Mountain West still, and obviously all these Group of Fives. Because especially like the American's been one of the best conferences
yeah,
this year, with North Texas, with Tulane, with
yeah,
Navy.
without a
Um,
doubt, yeah,
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 they've had a really great conference. So
yeah.
yeah, there's an argument
So
to be made there.
So at this point, when we go through that ranking, then I mean, obviously Ohio State and Indiana are both in. Georgia's going to be in, even if they lose the conference championship game. Dropping from three to out is
No.
impossible.
Yep.
Um,
Texan.
Texas Tech's got to be in too
Yep.
because they're dropping from four to outs. Impossible. Oregon is for sure in. Ole Miss is for sure in. Um,
And A&M's for sure
A&M's
in.
for sure in. Yep. And then I would say Oklahoma's for sure in because
Yeah,
they're ranked
based on where
above.
they're at. Yeah.
So then really it's Alabama and Notre Dame are the two bubble schools.
Yeah.
With, if Alabama loses, this is where it's like, if Alabama, it really comes down to if BYU beats Texas Tech. Because if BYU does not beat Texas Tech, then everything could stay the same there. But like if Alabama loses a close game, then I would think Notre Dame's out. If Alabama gets shit stomped by Georgia, which is in the realm of possibility, um, then I think that there could be a case like if they lose 56-3, like you could potentially see a situation there, I think, where Notre Dame's in, Alabama's out,
And
and then
Texas
Miami
is
would
in.
be, well, I think it would be Miami because they're ranked higher right now, right? Miami's 12.
Oh no, it would be so. Are we assuming Virginia won? Because if Virginia wins, then they're in, right? They're the 11.
Right, right,
So
right.
then in that case, oh, so you're saying Alabama loses,
So let's say
Notre Dame goes up to
let's say
9.
Alabama gets shit stomped by
Yeah,
Georgia, right? Then behind Alabama you have Notre
Notre
Dame,
Dame.
BYU.
Yeah.
Let's say BYU loses to Tech,
Yep.
right? I think if they lose to Tech in general, they're out.
Yeah.
Like even if they lose by 1 point, right?
Yeah.
They're out. And then Miami's after that, right?
Right, but they can't get in. They're fucked.
No, they could get in. That's what I'm saying. If I think if Alabama loses like 50, in that scenario where Alabama loses 56-3, right? Alabama could drop out completely. Notre Dame could go in, and then Miami could jump BYU and Alabama.
Yeah, so but in that scenario though, that'd be crazy if Duke won then, to have an at-large ACC team, but not the conference champion. That'd be wild
I
if they
didn't think
were
about that.
if they were an
I'm assuming
at-large.
Virginia gets in because if Virginia does win,
Then it's not that weird to have two, I guess, right? Like
but yeah, yeah,
if Duke wins, then your logic should still apply. They would be
yes.
the point would be they're the at-large. You'd be saying you appreciate their two wins or their two loss season not going to the conference championship over Alabama's three
If you're the
losses.
ACC commissioner, do you care? If you're the ACC
If
commissioner,
no, because you have Miami there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it would just be weird. It'd be more weird for the committee to have to explain to people why. a non-conference champion was there and JMU was there, I think it would be more like having to explain it than it would be, yeah, no, the conference itself would be like, fuck yeah, right?
Yeah,
Like, and it's
exactly.
Miami. Yeah, that'd be wild though. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so Texas and Vanderbilt are pretty much done, which like I said, that kind of sucks, but could get a fun game, maybe like a Vandy USC game and a bowl game.
Yeah,
Texas
that would actually
Utah.
be a great bowl game. I
Yeah.
think it'd be a lot of fun. So, all right, I guess I can pull up the full rankings now and take a look. But
Yeah, I think like so I thought about this. This is this is what I call the chaos. So especially with you having the it pulled up. This is what I would say is pure utter chaos that I'm going to probably be rooting for. Although it probably will result in this won't necessarily result in the best bracket. I think there's some really good potential of some great first round games like on campus. But this would be the chaos weekend. IU beats Ohio State. Bama beats Georgia. BYU beats Tech. And Duke wins.
if Duke wins, we have chaos. I mean, those other three are like yes,
Yeah.
but if Duke wins, chaos.
In that scenario, you're looking at Indiana number one, Ohio State number two, Bama number three, Ducks, potentially dogs or ducks, depending on where they would rank it, but they would be 4 and 5. They could just keep Georgia right below Alabama, but
Mm,
that'd be a huge jump, right? You're going from 9 to 3.
yeah.
Justified, right? I would think it would be justified, but that'd be a crazy jump to make. So let's just say Ducks 4, Dogs 5, A&M 6. This was me assuming Ole Miss was going to get punished. So I guess this would be Ole Miss 6. Then it's like probably BYU 7, or even no, it's probably BYU
6.
above. Oh shit, no, yeah, you're right. BYU wins. It's probably the BYU over the Ducks because they don't be one loss.
Yeah, yeah,
So it'd probably be, yeah, okay. So it'd be probably Indiana, OSU, Bama, BYU,
yeah.
Georgia 5, Oregon 6, Ole Miss 7. Then
I think
it's
you probably put
or
Texas Tech at
Tech,
7. Yeah.
Tech, then Ole Miss at 8,
8.
A&M or A&M is A&M above them? No, they're below them. So yeah, Ole
A
Miss 8.
A&M at 9. Oklahoma at 10.
Yeah,
And then
Notre or
no, Notre Dame's out at that point. Then it's Duke or Miami at 11 and Tulane at 12. Duke or Miami's at 11.
or yeah, it'd be Tulane 11 and JMU at 12 in that
Or
case with Dukes.
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that sets up like that would just be that'd be such a crazy
Oh
scenario
yeah,
because like
yeah.
Duke,
It would have to be. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
it would have to be North Texas or Tulane, and because it would be one of the two that they would be above JMU regardless, and then JMU would be the last one in.
Yeah, even in my scenario where I said, yeah, because really you have to save the last two spots. The last two spots have to be saved for Tulane and JMU. In a scenario where Duke wins the conference championship,
Yeah.
you have to save the last two spots for Tulane and JMU or Tulane and Duke. So, oh
The
my
real the real chaos comes. I mean, it's not chaos. I just don't know what the answer would be as if JMU loses. Who's the next best? Are we talking about Dan fucking Mullen if he wins the Mountain
no,
West?
if JMU if JMU loses
It still has to be a
and Duke
conference person.
wins,
It still has to be conference. They're a 5 loss team, Mike. 5. They're not 3 losses. They're not even 4 losses. They are 5. They are cooked. They will take a group of 5 school that is a 2 loss conference champion over a 5 loss Duke. 5.
so
That's what's insane. Why are they in their conference championship? And why is there a legitimate chance that they can beat Virginia?
I mean, honestly, if I'm the
Five.
if I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm punching air right now because like get me into the ACC.
Right,
Yeah,
idiots, just fucking
yeah,
join already. Yeah, five, Mike. I don't think Duke's in regardless. So is it UNLV in the Mountain West? I think if you start to get to maybe a three win conference group of five, maybe you make an argument for Duke, but that doesn't make it any better. It's still fucking
no,
Duke.
yeah.
I don't know what happens. There could be real chaos. This is exciting.
We need Duke to win.
I
Okay.
know we need
Now
Duke
that we've talked about this, I want to go take a look at
Manny Diaz, come on.
I want to take a look at the old FanDuel. So, oh boy, my balance is low. I bet so much money on Auburn. So much money on Auburn. Oh boy,
They're the nightcap. They're ABC.
Texas Tech's favored by 12 and a half points. That's insane.
They murdered BYU.
Yeah, but still was at home. With Sataki sticking around now, I'm actually gonna put
Just on the vibes.
yeah, I'm gonna put I just put a ton of money on BYU plus 12 and a half. Um, let's see. Bama is plus 2.5. Uh, Duke plus 3.5. I kind of want to bet Virginia because like
Duke's
I
only
want
three
Duke
and a
to
half
win.
point favorites or
Uh,
underdogs.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Ohio State's only a 4.5 point favorite to Indiana.
It's respect.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see if
respect.
it ends up being right.
My God, I feel like I'm gonna have that game on, even though I am very curious to see what happens when Indiana plays Ohio State. Oh boy.
Oh, Duke. Okay. Well, having said all of that, why don't we just quickly say who you think's going to win these games, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
So if we're
Let's see.
looking at championship weekend, there is 4 games on Friday. There are 5 games on Saturday.
I mean, JMU should dog walk Troy. I mean, they're 23.5 point favorites, so I think they
Yes, and
dog
it's
walk
a
Troy.
home game too. They get to play it at home.
Let's see. Kansas State, sure, why not? They're favored. Um, North Texas Tulane, both teams lost their coach. Let's go with
But they're
North
both
Texas.
coaches are still coaching.
Give me the mean green. Um,
That's going to be an amazing, just like points.
yeah,
This is going to be the points game.
66.5 is the over under right
Over.
now. Yeah. UNLV Boise State. Do you have a lean?
Um,
It's three
I,
and a half.
I,
Boise State 3.5.
they're favored.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, it is in Boise, so it's outdoors, likely to be miserable. Actually, it might be really, really cold. So, like, my gut would have been UNLV, but I think being at home and the freezing cold, I'm probably going to go Boise.
Miami, Ohio, Western Michigan. It's basically dead even.
Yeah, Western, go
Yeah.
Broncos.
There you go. Texas Tech, BYU 12.5. Texas Tech laying 12.5.
I think they're going to murder them.
I think Texas Tech wins. I think BYU covers.
Okay.
Um,
In Arlington at Jerry World.
yeah, I think the positive vibes from Sataki I think is a big thing. Um, Georgia, Alabama. Georgia's laying 2.5. Field goal game.
Interesting. I
The
just
way
think,
Georgia's playing, I think Georgia gets it done. But I do think that like Kirby Smart also when he sees the script A, like loses his mind.
yeah, I
Like
think it's until they beat Bama, it's Bama.
I mean they have beaten like Kirby Smart to be clear has beaten
Yes.
Alabama, but not all that often.
Yeah.
So
And with eventual national champions.
I'm taking Georgia because I think that based on what I saw, uh, Alabama just is dog shit. UVA playing 3.5 against Duke.
Duke. Duke's gonna win. And
Yeah,
they're gonna fuck the committee and we're gonna
yeah,
have 16 teams next year.
yeah. I like the Dukies too. And then Ohio State laying 4.5 against Indiana.
I hope that the Signetti we have seen this year, especially recently, is just an entire ploy, and he's just going to absolutely unload and win because he has been so complimentary of the other teams, talking kind of in a way that demeans himself, and it's just like, no, this is not the Kurt we know. So that just makes me feel like this entire time he's biding his time to finally beat Ohio State and just absolutely unload and be the
Be the bad guy.
cocky, you know, douchebag that we all have come to love. So I'm hoping my gut says Ohio State just takes care of business, but my heart says that Signetti's just been sandbagging us this year.
I will bet so much money on the Buckeyes minus 4.5. I just think that they are. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be an emotional bet. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, I
It's
think the
in
Buckeyes.
Indiana. They're in Indianapolis. It's a
I
home game.
sure, sure,
Sure.
sure. Hey, the nice thing when you have the more talented team, it travels.
Yeah.
So yeah, talent
Sometimes.
travels. So yeah, I think this would be a great game though. I like this is the first Ohio State game other than the game that I sat down and watched that and I when I say that, I mean I watched Harvard Yale and then I did watch Ohio State Michigan too. So yeah, but
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us this week. So next week we're probably thinking um it's going to be after championship week, so we can recap what happened, and then we can time it so that we have the final bracket and rankings and who's in and who's out, and we can just discuss our reactions, and then maybe the following week talk about what we think is going to happen in those games, those first rounds, or even have like our own playoff predictor and then
yeah.
break down the first round.
Should we have guests do something fun? Should we try to do a little something fun?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, we'll think about that. We'll noodle on our schedule here and our programming, and we'll get back to you guys. So
And also remember, this is our last week for Pick'em. It looks like Mike is the only one that can potentially catch our leader, Jimmy, who has been in the lead for the majority of the season. He's done a great job, but no biscuits this week. But yeah, we'll see. Uh,
he's
yeah,
got to get them all wrong. I got to get them all right, and then we got to figure out what the fucking tiebreak. It's gonna be Army Navy. We'll just have to flip
crazier
a
things have
coin.
happened.
We'll have to flip a coin and see, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I mean, hats off to him. He's done great. I mean, I have also spectacularly collapsed. But he hasn't done too well either. Like he's been like, come on, like here's your shot.
He
And
has
I
not
just
slammed the door shut.
no, he has not. He has not. So yeah, but no, he's done great. So um yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. I may have to reach out to him. And be like, do you just want to like make it interesting? I may reach out to him and see if we are naturally on the other side of things, like see if we can pick him that way so that like it's interesting then. But we'll see. Because I could go either way on some of these games. So
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of not knowing, right? So for the listeners, I'm the one that looks at all the picks, and I definitely make up my mind before I start looking. Like obviously I see people's picks, but I don't
yes,
really like think about it.
yeah, you
I
don't
try to
judge
really
it.
make up
Yeah,
my mind and don't play the game of like I know what, the leaders are picking, so I'm going to pick against them um or pick different games. So in this instance, the last couple of years, Mike has been the one that's either been in the lead or has the chance to take the lead between the two of us. And I truthfully don't say anything to him. So if they pick complete all the same games, there's no shenanigans. If hopefully they just pick naturally six different games and really make it interesting. But yeah, either way,
That
there's a
could be,
chance.
yeah. I could see, yeah. I don't know. It could be, yeah. I don't know. Ah, shimmy. It's up to him. I mean, he's
Yeah.
in the lead, so he doesn't have to do it. But if he wanted to make it interesting, I would be fine with uh going on the other side of him for like I could go on the other side of him for Big Ten, SEC. Hell, all four of the Power Four games, I could go either way on those. So
Yeah, no, and for him, he every pick this entire year was a pick against Louisville. So that just shows you that them being terrible against the spread has played to his favor this year. But he can't make that choice this week. So
can't.
so it'll be interesting. But yeah, so join us next week. For Mike, I'm EJ. Always remember, too much of anything is bad. Too much whiskey, barely enough.
Cheers, boys.